Don't think I'm crazy, but I have like a friend contract. Oh, it says conditions.
A friend contract? So say what now?
The whole thing is this is like a 1-year contract. You can't break it.
1 year.
Unless you send a notarized letter explaining why you want to void the contract. And then it has to be signed by like the president. We can't unbefriend each other unless it is for a really good reason.
Example?
One of us is unexpectedly killed and died. Oh!
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. However this finds you, I hope it finds you well. I am not on here for a long time, but I am here for a relatable time. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm gonna get right into something that a lot of us can understand. That is friendship, making friends, and building community. I talk about community, loneliness, all here on this channel. It is very important to me for many different reasons. It is something that impacts many in this country, that is in the good old US of A. Part of it is because our culture is rooted in individualism. More on that later. Back to the topic at hand. Loneliness, as most of us know, can be overwhelming. I decided to confront one of the key drivers of loneliness, lack of connection, this year by actively building community. I put a lot of effort into this goal. Ironically, through social media, I found 3 platforms: Time Left, Skip the Small Talk, and Real Roots. Y'all, I got the tea. Oof. It was interesting, y'all. I'm going to share with you how each of these played a role in helping me find connection and belonging. Time Left connects individuals for meaningful conversations. You fill out a questionnaire, then you are matched with a group of people to have dinners anywhere in the city. I believe this program is a global one. Most of the action is happening in an app. You pick the time, you pick the location, but you don't know much about the people you're going to be meeting with. The morning of, you receive clues. You all meet up at the designated dinner spot. This concept in its adventuristic nature immediately resonated with me. I love a good adventure. I love a good time. And so I knew that I would enjoy it. The price range typically goes from about $50 per session. You also can buy a suite. I believe I bought 3 dinners and I have 1 dinner left in that suite. During dinner, the app is a guide walking you through the activities that you're supposed to be doing over dinner. And that's how things get revealed. After dinner, which is about 90 minutes, you are guided through the app to go to the next location, usually a bar. The first restaurant I had never been to in all of my life in this city, and I've lived in this city for quite some time. It wasn't my style, but I am here for the vibes. I'm here for the ish, as I mentioned. The bar that we went to afterwards, I don't know if I would have chosen it. It was a college dive bar, sticky floors. You smell it when the door opens. Some people had the expectation that they would meet somebody. And I can understand that because in some of the earlier iterations of ads, you did see men and women partnered. Again, for me, I'm there to meet people and have a great time. At the end, you are able to rate the evening. As well, you are able to rate the other attendees, honey. Shady. You are asked whether or not you would have dinner with this person again. You get to see, I believe it's the next day, who you have things in common with, or if you both have mutual interests. And you're able to then keep communicating through the app. You probably off the bat know who's gonna fuck with you and who's not, and you don't give a shit, you know? Just one thing to note, it does stir up feelings that feel very similar to that of a dating app, right? Getting chose. Pros. Everything is all set up for you. You don't have to find the restaurant, plan the activities that are happening during dinner. All of that is in the app. It's a lot of fun. It has this level of adventure to it. For those who don't mind just seeing where things go, you are going to get that with time left. Cons. There was a focus on things individuals have in common, hobbies, and age, but that was where it all stopped. We were all very different individuals, and that's cool, but sometimes culturally that can be problematic. And that was noted in the restaurants that were chosen, the bar that was chosen. You could tell there wasn't care put into things that could be culturally relevant across the board. One of the cons to note was after you've met with these people, the anxiety of looking into the app to see if you were chosen by someone or not. If you're somebody who suffers from rejection, anxiety, I can see how that would be triggering. If you're somebody who's sambuca-like, black licorice-like me, if I had to rate time left on a scale of 1 to 5 friend emojis, I would give it a solid 4 friend emojis. I move on. Next up is Skip the Small Talk. This amazing card game that I have. It's one of my favorite things of 2024. Skip the Small Talk organizes events designed to foster deep, authentic conversation, moving beyond surface level chit chat. And for me, I love that. One thing that I cannot stand is surface level chit chat. Hey, so how's the weather? Oh, that's nice. Did you watch this television show? I cannot stand it. Get me out of here. I don't want to be around you. So anyway, I found Skip the Small Talk on social media. I think it was IG. And it felt like a perfect fit for somebody like me who craves dialogue with depth. Right? Prices vary from location and venue, typically from $15 to $30, and they also offer online events at comparable prices. What I love about Skip the Small Talk is what's at the heartbeat. That is this game. 100 questions to start conversations that actually matter. Let's see what we draw. What qualities in a person do you find magnetic? What qualities in a person do you value the most? How much overlap is there between the two? Tell me about at least one time when you felt especially loved, understood, or appreciated. What do you think helped you feel that way? Put your answers down below. It's highly addictive. This is getting past the surface with strangers. You get partnered with a person and you sit with them for, I believe, 10 minutes, and then someone rings a bell, you move to the next round. The cards are on the table, you guys ask the card questions of each other, and then at the end of that set, you decide if you want to exchange information with this person. I loved this concept. I think it was just so smart. Pros, the card game is up first. It's rooted in something that is meant to get to connection quickly. Another pro, there are a number of tickets that are given for free, is a plus because it's another level of access. I could not believe the individuals that I was meeting. These are people that I probably would be on the metro with, or I would walk down the street and, walk right past. Each of these individuals has a story, and we don't experience that in everyday life. We would not. And so it was a huge unlock for me as well when it comes to empathy. And I'm one who leans into that. I'm an emotionally intelligent person. I love that kind of stuff. So it unlocked that even further for me. One other plus is they have some great content. I remember there was something that went on in the news. They sent out a blog post and said, hey, I know y'all may be feeling XYZ way. We stand in community with you. I appreciated that follow-up from them. I thought it was really strong and sincere and genuine, and it matched up with the brand of the company. A con. Location, some random, again, divey location I would have never come across on my own, and that's okay, that's cool, but definitely it was off the beaten path. Then I'll say there was this age gap. I was one of the more seasoned people in this group. You had a lot of people who were new to the city, wanted to meet people. There was kind of this experience gap, but it was cool. I was still able to have a good time. They were still able to have a good time. When it comes to skip the small talk, I am going to give this one 4.5 friends out of 5. Last up is Real Roots. How Real Roots works is that you fill out a questionnaire at the very beginning. You state various intersections. If you are a neurodivergent, queer, woman, you state that at the very beginning if you choose to do so. And the goal is to match with individuals who are similar to you. Then you meet in person for kind of a kickoff, driven by a facilitator. You all participate in a game, get to know each other, you kind of vibe out. It's about 90 minutes long. At the end, there is kind of a pitch of what is to come over the course of the next 6 weeks. You and the group will meet to do an activity and a dinner and get to know each other further. Along with that comes a suite of communications platforms. You have a WhatsApp group, Slack group. These things are dedicated to your cohort. You get sent text messages that basically keep you posted on where you are in the process and connect you for one-on-one. They call them gal dates with these other individuals who are within your group. At the end, you formed community. At least you're supposed to have formed community because you've been with these people for 6 consecutive weeks. Pros. I love that everything is set up for you, where you are going to meet with these people, the activities that you are going to do. We did a game night where we were playing card games. One night we did this bowling type activity, feather bowling, I think it was called. I had never feather bowled in my life. One night we did the scavenger hunt. For each one of those weeks, we had an activity and then we had dinner after. All of that was curated ahead of time for us. Another pro is that I got to select the group that I would engage with. I selected Black women within my age group. Now, we did have it where towards the middle of our cohort, some other individuals were added because there was something that happened with that group. These individuals were a bit younger than the initial cohort. I think it was about 2 weeks before those individuals joined us. One of the most fantastic pros from this is that I actually ran into someone who interned for me years ago, over 10, and had not seen her since. She happened to be in my cohort. I have not run into this woman until that night, and she and I have been enjoying reconnecting. I kind of cheated, y'all, but blame the universe. Don't blame me. Here are some cons. There were activities that we did that even though it was a group of Black women, the spaces that we entered into, we were the only ones. And that's okay from time to time. But when it is each time, for the most part, it can feel a little interesting. We then have to take up space, right? And that's cool too, but it's just something to note, especially when you're in a city as diverse as mine. There's a plethora of places that could have been selected, and that just never happened. The other con, there are feelings that I have about the facilitation of the group. I believe that what is required when it comes to facilitation is a high level of emotional intelligence. Some of the questions are beyond surface and they're supposed to be. That has to be handled with care, a certain level of fidelity that not everybody may have. Anybody can apply to become a facilitator. Not everybody is going to think the same or behave the same, even though we may have intersections in common. We are all different human beings. You create a safe space by allowing individuals to express differently, to share their lived experience, even though it might be different. And again, there's a level of finesse, not necessarily a con, but something to think about. The final con for me is, how do we get to going beyond? How do we get to go to the next level? Because yes, while you may be meeting individuals consistently for 6 weeks, you would think that connections can be formed. On surface, they should be, but I believe that it does take something within the individual to go to the next level. How is it that you really show up when it comes to building community? I don't think we talk about that enough. It's one thing to get introduced to a group and to meet people. It's another thing to get past that and really get to the meat and potatoes of fostering true connection with individuals. That is where the work lies. Another con is that we all met every week on Wednesdays. People were coming from work. Some people would be late, and that would be okay. It is difficult in the middle of the week. It really requires commitment and effort. And you found that there were some individuals that just were not able to make it week after week. And you get that because a Wednesday night is tough, even in the summer. A con is that Real Roots is probably the most expensive within the bunch. I mentioned the 6 events. Those events came to about $250. It ain't cheap to find friends. That cost was not the full suite of drinks or food, y'all. And of course, by the time we're all done, your transportation to get home. It was an investment that I was happy to make, and I got my money's worth. I would say that is a con. When it comes to accessibility, this is where you see it's kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies, right? Because there are individuals who may want to participate in something like this at this level, but they cannot because of the price barrier. So what, I'm poor, I don't deserve friends? So that's what you're trying to say? The final con is that Real Roots has a tendency to feel a little salesy. We have since gotten texts about wanting to join another cohort, etc. I think the model can be made better if we look at how do we continue with these relationships in a way that is meaning, and the feedback that they're getting, my guess is that is being baked into each and every iteration for the cohorts to come. For Real Roots, I would have to say 4.75 friends out of 5. Reuniting with my then intern was what took it up to the next level for me. Otherwise, I probably would have given them a 4. I'm going to share all of this information below. I believe that all of these programs are available nationwide in the US, and some of them are global. I would love for you to try out 1 or 2 and tell me what you think of them. Tell me what your journey has been like when it's come to building community. I started off the year with this as a top priority. And as we're closing the year, I am quite satisfied with the effort that I've put in. Some of these I would definitely do again. Maybe once the weather warms up. Loneliness, isolation, lack of connection, it doesn't have to be a permanent state. You can do something about it. There are so many communities that start online, and I would encourage you to get offline to really build with individuals. I have communities that I adore here on YouTube, but I know that they supplement. They're not the main thing. By taking intentional steps and exploring resources and platforms like Time Left, Skip the Small Talk, and Real Roots, I have begun to build true connection and community outside of the friend groups that I already had. Y'all, I promised I would not be on here for a long time, but a relatable time. I believe that I delivered. I want y'all to stick with me as I delve deeper into this matter of community. Be sure to share this with your girlies or your guys. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. And as always, friends, remember, you are capable of big things. I'll see you next time.